All right, brothers and sisters, give me about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and all this up. All right. Um, I'm about to get it going. About to get it going right now. All right. We're getting going soon. All right. Just give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Because I gotta send some invites to this. No, I'm gonna bring out some scriptures and some clips. And actually, I'm gonna piggyback off of one video, but I'm also going to not only piggyback off this one video, but I'm also going to bring out stuff, what I'm saying, that we can go into, what I'm saying, because it's edifying. Because you know, as I'm sending up more invites, this some edification I gotta go out, because what we call dinosaurs, right? Yes, they exist. Yes, they're scriptural. This Bible, they're not called dinosaurs, all right? Because that term is actually relatively new, all right, 200 years. So when these creatures was walking around and they were more known and more, how should I say, more made more aware of their existence, right? Um, they weren't terms like serpents and dragons. The reason why is because when you relegate a serpent and a dragon, right? Go back to what? Lizards, reptiles, all right? And that's how you know what kind of creature. They're big ass lizards, all right? And yes, there are still some today, all right? There's just the Lord has got reason, because the white man got his head so far high because he's such a prideful creature that he thinks he can just boat, he think he can just bogart his way and think that he's the mastermind thing, all right? Because we're in the 1800s. That's when the era of archaeology, all right, paleontology, right? So let's see. Yeah, pretty much. Give me about 30 seconds, and I'm gonna go. Get 30 seconds. I'm about to go. All right. And actually, I'm gonna pick it back off. So yeah, just give me. Go on here real quick on my laptop and monitor what goes on my phone. And then after that, it's go time. All right. Oh, my bad. Yeah, party. It's not what I wanted. But yeah, one more group. All right. But yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and go into this up real quick. All right. So almost, all right. I want to say Kohala, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai. All right. This is Rayab Bangad from the Zealots, currently teaching in Rainier Beach right now. All right, down in Seattle. For brothers and sisters, they want us to come come here down in South Seattle. speaking of Rainier Beach. All right, been talking about going down there for for a good. We're out there, but today's lesson is dealing with dinosaurs in the Bible. All right, proving dragons, dinosaurs, which same creature. All right, same creatures. They're all lizards. Historical evidence, so going through certain things that certain eyewitness accounts from modern. Okay, and this is all just to prove the validity of the scriptures, because when you say that dinosaurs don't exist, because you do have Israelites out here, well, astute or studied, they will talk mess about they'll talk mess about the creation of these creatures, and they will sit up here and say that they don't exist. You have guys in Israel that talk like that. With Esau, the so-called white man, all right, of at least from these atheistic people, all right. Oh, they don't really know a damn thing, right? I should say. Not even gonna put that on the whole all Edom. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it on believe in nothing. But yes, so with that said, let's go ahead and share my screen real quick. I'm kind of shooting off the hip today, but at the same time, I'm going to bring out scriptures as well. So let's push this tab to the back. And I'm going to piggyback on this video that I saw when I first came into the truth, May 30th, 2013. In this video, let's see, somebody made a comment in here. Yeah, Ray Yawasop said, I believe in the Middle Ages, Jake was probably fighting those type of giant beasts. It's all in their literature and their yes, 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 yes. And I'm gonna touch on it. And I believe I can't find the information, but the Moors they did speak on them encountering these large creatures, these large reptiles. All right. So let's see. Oops, my bad. I'm kind of giving away what I found. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go to Genesis real quick. All right. And let's go to the scriptures real quick and prove the validity before I bring out this video that I'm going to piggyback heavy on, because it's a heavy video. This Edomite did years ago, back in 2010. And they try to get this video chopped down from YouTube multiple times. All right. Because it's too, I mean, this is just like, this destroys modern day science and modern day logic and philosophy and Darwinism at the same time. All right. So, oops, Salakia. So just Genesis 1 and 21. And it says, God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God, the Alahayam, saw that it was good. All right. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and go to the concordance, because it's the blue letter Bible that I'm utilizing, right? This tool that I'm utilizing. All right. Um, let's go ahead and go right here, because we got to deal with words, man. This is the exact reason why we look up words. All right. So it says, and God created great whales. Great whales. What is great whales? What's the word whale mean? Is that talking about those big fish in the sea jumping in and out the river, or jumping in and out the ocean with the their air hole up in their blowhorn, or blow air out of their on the top of their head? Well, let's see. Let's go look at the word whale right here in the concordance, Strong's concordance. So let's go right here. So Strong's H8577.
Strong's H, 8577. Tanim. Tanim.
Tanayan, I would believe that's, or Tananan. All right. Now, so look, it's the word for whale, dragon, serpent, sea monster, dragon or dinosaur, sea or river monster, serpent, venomous snake. Strong's definition, Tananan, intensive, and Ezekiel 29:3 is dealing with Egypt. It's not talking about an actual creature in Ezekiel 29:3. It's talking about representing Egypt right there. But the point is that word is used for dragon, right? So watch this. Intensive from the same as Strong's H565. A marine or land monster, sea serpent or jackal, dragon, sea monster, serpent, whale. So the main one right here, dragon or dinosaur, dragon, serpent, or sea monster, right? So during the time of the creation, when creatures were being created, right? And shalom to all the brothers and sisters that are coming in, all right? When you deal with these sea monsters and you deal with these dinosaurs, these large reptiles, that's what they were called when you deal with the Old English, and the various languages describe them as a different name, all right? And even during the time of the creation, they took part in the creation, because it clearly gives you a distinction of great whales in the sea. As you see, right? Let's go look up dinosaurs, right? Let's pull up some images of dinosaurs, right? So look, or these dragons, all right? These giant lizards. So look, you have these on the land, right? But then let me pull up another tab. Actually, okay, sauropod. I think it's sauropod. All right, watch this, right? Now, we all know what this, and we all seen this. I'm pretty sure brothers and sisters have seen Land Before Time, right? I'm pretty sure we've seen many different dinosaur movies from the 30s all the way up to now, right? Jurassic Park, all right? Now, I'm just giving you an edification. Now look at this big joker with the long neck. All right? Look at this joker with the long neck. So that's a sauropod, right? And there's also the brachiosaurus, which has a long neck. All right. But let's go to the plesiosaur. Plesiosaur, watch this. The plesiosaur has a long neck and flippers, right? Look at that. So the point, so watch this, right? So when you're dealing with the different these different creatures, right? They all have a land adaptation of them and a sea adaptation of them. Because guess what? Water is life. We all come from the waters. Before the earth was formed, there was moist. All right, there was liquid. All right. And yeah, that Loch Ness monster and all them, and Champlain and all them other monsters, dealing with what Quran is bringing out in the Facebook chat. Those creatures, that's this creature right here, basically. All right, this big long neck dinosaur with flippers, right? So the point I'm utilizing with this is that there's adaptations. All right, so of course, when the Lord was creating certain animals, they had the land sea adaptation, and they came out to sea, and some of them adapt to becoming on land. And that's just the process in the godly science, if you will, all right, of creation. When the Lord allowed the Alahayim to create, which is the angels, to create this earth that we live on, all right? And Yahweh Shai, all right, who was amongst that whole creation. But yeah. And that's just to give you an edification on that. Yeah, they took part in creation in Genesis, the first chapter, the 21st verse. All right. So let's go ahead and go to this video, right? Because this Edomite in this video brought out a lot of great points. And one thing I give Esau, that a lot of these guys that believe in the Bible, that's Edomites, that they do bring out a lot of good stuff. All right. So the Lord allowed some of these guys to research some stuff so that we don't have to dig up things, man. And actually, before I go into anything else, let's go ahead and go into that, right? Let's go to Psalm 64. I believe Psalm 64. All right, Psalm 64 and 6. And it says, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both inward thought of every one of them in the heart is deep. So this devil, all right, Esau, they have done their due diligence in their searches, man. They have. You know, we got to give them credit, give credit to where credit is due, especially with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Con. I don't want to search down too deep, you know what I'm saying? Because they know it's in the deep, in the depths of the ocean. So let's go ahead and go to full screen and let's play this real quick. All right, let's hide this. So this hidden forbidden history, dinosaurs in the Bible. So let's deal with this.
Today in the 21st century, most people have been taught that the dinosaurs roamed the Earth 65 million years ago and mysteriously died off after a comet hit the Earth. Somehow, over millions of years, the surviving dinosaurs then evolved into the birds of today. This idea,
Which, that is madness, man. You telling me some giant lizards evolved into birds? You got to be out of your goddamn mind to say some stupid stuff like that, man. See, that's Esau with his bullshit science, man.
over millions of years, the
Excuse my
surviving
language.
dinosaurs then evolved into the birds of today. This idea, though taught in almost every school and major university, has not been supported with evidence from history or the geologic record. It gives no explanation for the vast fossil graveyards found throughout the world, nor does it explain how many kinds of animals found in the fossil record remain alive to this day. Is there a better explanation? Is there scientific and archaeological evidence that gives a simple explanation for what happened to the dinosaurs? In this documentary, you will be given evidence that the dinosaurs have always existed with man. You will discover that ancient man frequently wrote of interactions with dinosaurs throughout recorded history, and you will see evidence to verify this. You will also be shown evidence that there could even be some dinosaurs that have survived to the present day. Finally, we will examine one of the most accurate and trusted historical records known to man, the Bible. The Bible gives a far different version of what happened in the history of ancient man that caused the extinction of most dinosaurs.
And you know what? I covered a small microcosm of that with that one verse. All right.
We will look at its claims in light of the evidence that has been presented in this documentary. Before we start, consider this. We all have beliefs and ideas about what we think is true. These are called our presuppositions. Sometimes our presuppositions are true and sometimes they are false. When considering evidence, it is very difficult to set aside the presuppositions that we hold and look at evidence with an unbiased open mind. Truth is sometimes very hard to accept, especially if it is contrary to what we have believed. Much of the evidence that you will see in this video has been ignored by modern-day science, but a close examination of the evidence will reveal some startling conclusions. In 1841, the first use of the term Dinosauria, meaning terrible lizard, was created by the famous British anatomist and paleontologist Sir Richard Owen. He used the term for the first time at a meeting of the British Association for the Advancement of Science held in Plymouth. After that meeting, the word dinosaur rapidly became a popular term to describe these giant lizards that were being discovered by paleontologists.
Yeah, and they're originally called dragons. All right, when you deal with the Anglo language, right, which is English. All right, you ain't gonna because like when you deal with some of the depictions and descriptions of these animals, right? They're not called dinosaurs. Like you said, this came out in 1841. You know, like that was the era of archaeology and paleontology. All right, when that started to come about. All right, so they in a lot of these names that you see, because a lot of animals that you see, have like a scientific name. All those scientific names are Greek names, just like the word dinosaur is a Greek name meaning terrible lizard. Okay, just giving you an edification on that.
During the 1800s, after the first discovery of large dinosaur fossils, scientists began to search the rocks for clues to what had happened to these terrible lizards and other creatures that were buried in the earth. Unfortunately, they became focused on the rocks and buried fossils and failed to examine history for evidence of what had happened to these creatures. So what exactly does the historical record reveal about the dinosaurs? Remember that the word dinosaur was not even created until 1841. Even up until 1891, some dictionaries did not contain the word dinosaur. Prior to this, dinosaurs were known by other names. Every culture had names for them. For example, the name that you are probably the most familiar with is dragon.
See,
Even up until 1946, the word dragon was found in dictionaries and has in its definition this telling description. Names from other cultures include some of the following. Dragon history is nearly universal throughout the world's ancient cultures. Where did this global concept originate? Why is it so universal among cultures who were separated by continents? How did societies throughout the world describe, record, draw, etch, sew, and carve these creatures with such uniformity if they had not been eyewitnesses of them? Let's first examine the written historical record and then move on to the physical evidence. The reports of dragons range from personal encounter reports and science papers to legendary stories like Beowulf and the Loch Ness Monster. A well-known old science book, the Historia Animalium, claims that dragons were not extinct in the 1500s, but the animals were said to be extremely rare.
now let's start right there, right? I want to show some scriptures, right? We're dealing with the Bible. I want to show some scriptures, right, of the terminology and usage of dragon, because let me pull out something real quick. Because even to this very day, right? Even to this very day, you have certain lizards that are called dragons. Actually, one that you guys are very familiar with, the Komodo dragon. Look at this joker right here, man. Look at this guy right here. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this thing right here. Are you telling me that don't look like a modern day dinosaur to you? But guess what they call him? Komodo dragon. Why? Because dragons was the term that they used, all right, to describe these scaly lizard-like looking creatures, such as this creature right here. All right. Actually, you know what? Like I said, let's see. Pull out one more picture. All right. Look at this guy. Look at this big joker right here, man. You telling me that don't look like a damn dinosaur to you? Oh, but he's called the Komodo dragon. So let's go ahead and go to, let's see. And see, these are just terminology. This is like phrases that are said in the scriptures, right? Let's go. Let's go ahead and go here. Job 30 and 29. Let's go ahead and go right here, right? See, Job. See, oh, wrong one. Job 30 and 29. Okay. So Job 30 and 9. Right. This is Job mourning for his situation that he was in, that the Lord allowed Satan to put him under, right, to test his faith. Now look, it says, I went mourning without the sun, and I stood up and cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and companion to owls. All right. So right here, what would he be talking about dealing with dragons? Is he talking about some regular old creature? You know what I'm saying? That you, what is he talking about right here? You have to classify what the word dragon is. And it's very obvious. All right. And obviously this guy gets it. All right. And because you have to go look at some of these ancient dictionaries, these old dictionaries, to get some clues of what these creatures are, right? So, like I said, the Komodo dragon is probably the best example. Even the mouth dragon. Oh, what's that little tiny little lizard? Lizard. Let's see. Lizard dragon. Let's see. He's a little tiny little joker. Yeah, this guy right here. The bearded dragon. There you go. Look at this. See that? See this little joker right here? Wait a second. You telling me that ain't no damn dinosaur right there? That ain't no damn dragon? Look at that. They call this little lizard a dragon. Look at him. Look at this little guy, man. Telling me that ain't no damn dinosaur? But see, they would classify all lizards and reptiles, especially the big ones, right, as serpents and dragons in ancient literature. All right. So let's just had to point that out. And actually, let me see. Is there more scriptures I can bring out on that? Okay, watch. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's go to Psalms 148 and 7. Let's deal with Psalms 148 and 7. All right. Deal with this scripture right here. So watch this. Let me read up so I can give you the context. Psalms 148. Let them praise the name of the Lord, for he commanded and they were created. He also established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not pass. Praise the Lord from the earth, ye dragons in all deeps. Praise the Lord from the earth, ye dragons in all deeps. It's not nothing metaphorical. He's talking about actual creatures. The dragons dealing with these lizards in all those in the deep, basically the creatures in the ocean. Fire and hail, snow, vapor, stormy, wind fulfilling his word. Mountains in his hills, fruitful trees, cedars, beasts, cattle. So basically telling, I don't even have to finish that off. So it's giving you a context. It's talking about actual living creatures. Okay. So, I can go on and on with that, but there's just those are two scriptures dealing with the word dragon. What is the word? What animals is he talking about? Go ahead. It's talking about these creatures. Even the winged creatures that breathe fire too. They dinosaurs too, man. They're all big ass lizards, man. So let's go ahead and go back here.
And relatively small by then. In 1572, a scientist named Ulysses Aldrovandus carefully described a small dragon seen along a farm road in northern Italy. The rare creature was killed by the farmer when he struck it on the head with his walking stick. Aldrovandus obtained the dead body and made measurements and a drawing. He even had the animal mounted for a museum. It had a long neck, a very long tail, and a fat body. The skeletons of a number of ancient reptile-like creatures called Canostropias have similarities to the basic description that he gave. One dragon story from the ancient land of Sumer in Babylon tells of the hero Gilgamesh. He decided to make a name for himself by traveling to a distant land to cut great cedar trees needed for his city. He reached the forest with 50 volunteers and discovered a huge reptile-like animal which ate trees and reeds. The story simply says that Gilgamesh killed it.
Look like, and that's a sauropod, but this punk ass epics of Gilgamesh. That's not even, But see, this is all depictions and descriptions. So let's continue.
And cut off its head for a trophy. Thousands of dragon stories and pictures can be found in ancient Chinese books and art. One legend tells about a famous Chinese man named Yu. The story says after the Great Worldwide Flood, Yu surveyed the land of China and divided it into sections. He built channels to drain the water off to the sea and help make the land livable again. Many snakes and dragons were driven off from the marshlands when Yu created the new.
You see that? It's off the book, The Great Dinosaur Mystery, page 42.
Farmlands. Some old Chinese books even tell of a family that kept dragons and raised them to use their blood and body parts for medicines. In 1611, the emperor appointed the post of royal dragon feeder. An Irish writer recorded an encounter with a large beast with iron-like spikes on its tail, which pointed backwards. Its head had the shape of a horse's, and it had thick legs with strong claws. These details match features of dinosaurs like Kentrosaurus and Stegosaurus, which had sharp, pointed spines on their tails, thick legs, strong claws, and long horse-like skulls. The respected Greek explorer and historian Herodotus described small...
Very respected, very well-known philosopher, and I believe Herodotus was a so-called Negro. He was a one of the Hellenistic Jews, if I'm not mistaken. This is a forgery. I think this is a forged artwork right here.
Flying reptiles in ancient Egypt and Arabia. These animals sound amazingly like the small pterodactyl Rhamphorhynchus. They had the same snake-like body and bat-like wings. Many had been killed near the city of Buto in Arabia. He was shown a canyon with many piles of their backbones and ribs. Herodotus said that these animals could sometimes be found in the spice groves. They were small in size and of various colors. Large numbers would sometimes gather in the frankincense trees. When workers wanted to gather the tree's valuable juices, they would use smelly smoke to drive the flying reptiles away. The well-respected Grecian philosopher Aristotle said that in his time it was common knowledge that creatures like this also existed in Ethiopia. Similar animals, 3 feet long, were also described in India by the geographer Strabo. In Pliny's book, Natural History, written around 70 AD, he says, Africa produces elephants, but it is India that produces the largest, as well as the dragon. Claudius Aelians, a Greek military writer of the 2nd century who wrote De Natura Animalium around 200 AD, in his work stated, the Phrygian history also states that dragons are born which reach 10 paces in length. 10 paces, that's about 30 feet. The city of Neuralic in France was renamed in honor of the killing of a dragon there. This animal was reported to be bigger than an ox and had long, sharp, pointed horns on its head.
Triceratops.
In 1271 AD, the great explorer Marco Polo recorded in his writings that the Chinese emperor had dragons that pulled his chariot on special occasions. And in his book, The Travels of Marco Polo, Polo records the following about the Chinese province of Kharzan. He states, "Here are seen huge serpents 10 paces in length, and 10 spans in girth of the body. At the forepart near the head they have 2 short legs, having 3 claws, like those of a tiger, with eyes larger than a fourpenny loaf, and very glaring. The jaws are wide enough to swallow a man, the teeth are large and sharp, and their whole appearance is so formidable that neither man nor any other kind of animal can approach them without terror. Others are met with of smaller size, being 8, 6, or 5 paces long."
Now, see, Marco Polo. So this how you know, like, come on, man. And this is out of his recording, out of his visual observation that he made towards this creature right here. We would call what a velociraptor. All right. And I'm also show some other things, but I want this to keep playing just real quick. And I'm gonna bring out a scripture to prove a point just real quick.
An Anglo-Saxon chronicle from AD 793 reported, "This year came dreadful forewarnings over the land of the Northumbrians, terrifying the people most woefully. These were immense sheets of light rushing through the air, and whirlwinds, and fiery dragons flying across the firmament. Alexander the Great reported that when he conquered parts of what is now India in 326 BC, his soldiers were scared by great dragons that lived in caves. In 275 AD, legend says that George of Lydia, a Roman soldier in the guard of the Emperor Diocletian, killed a dragon while in Libya on a crusade. According to legend, in the 7th century..."
So I'm gonna stop right here just real quick because I want to show. All right, he talked about the ones that were in the Greco-Roman period, right? So let's go ahead and go here. Oh, not there, not there yet, not there yet. Let's see. Okay, Paleontology or Electronica. This is a website. Dinosaurs in Greco-Roman art. Dinosaurs and petrosaurs in Greek and Roman art and literature. An investigation of young Earth creationist claims. All right. So let's go ahead. See. Let's go ahead and go to this. Several Greco-Roman authors included the dragon Draco in encyclopedias of animals of nature in general. The earliest detailed descriptions of the dragon in such work is that of 1st century Roman Arthur Pliny the Elder and naturalist Historia. Various YEC authors claim that Pliny's description of dragons is a description of a dinosaur. All right. Just so you guys know that they're the same creature. But someone says, however, it is not. Pliny Draco is a serpentist that is not venomous. It's found in India. And the Roman term for Africa, South Egypt, Athen, it is 20 or more cubits. This is a length of 29 feet. Given that Roman cubit was 1.4562 English feet in length. The dragon carnivorous and kills its prey after first coiling around it. So let's see. There was something I was trying to find up in here that I found that made a lot of sense. But even with snakes too, you know what I'm saying, those creatures would be classified as the same creature. All right. Trying to see what was it? What was it? What was I looking at? Okay, right here, the dragons of Phrygia. All right. Now this is now that's in one of the Greek islands, right? One YEC author claims that an ancient account of dragons of Phrygia, which suck birds out of the sky, refers to living dinosaurs. However, a reading of ancient account self reveals the dragons in question are meant as snakes. And see, a lot of the stuff that you read right here, a lot of this stuff that you read with some of these depictions of people trying to disprove certain things. All right, a lot of these things don't add up to what is actually being described. Okay, and as you're gonna read in some, as you're gonna read, all right, or it's like as you're gonna see in this video. Okay, so let's see, because there was something that I found in here that I wanted to read. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see what I was looking at. Okay, right here. I think it might have been right here. I'm trying to think of what I was looking at that I wanted to see. It might not have been in here. Trying to see. Nah, but nah. Let's see. I'm trying to think where I saw it at, but a lot of times, you have detractors, right? And I'm gonna show you actually in this next part in this video, all right, about the Inca stones. Okay,
Dragon named
so watch this.
Garguet rose from the waters of the Seine River in France. Unlike the typical dragons of mythology, this one did not breathe fire, but rather was a water dragon. The monster proceeded to lay waste to the countryside around Paris. Saint Romain, the Archbishop of Rouen, accompanied by only a condemned prisoner, set out to stop the beast. They captured the dragon and led it back to Paris, where it was slain and burned. The head, however, was saved and mounted on a building. In commemoration of this event, architects began to design gutter spouts in the shape of the gargouet, and eventually in the shape of all manner of bizarre creatures now called gargoyles. There are thousands of other legends of people seeing and killing dragons throughout history. Now let's take a look at the physical evidence that has been found that
Okay,
points to the
I want
existence
to
of
make a point
dinosaurs
on
with
this
man.
right here.
What you're about to see, you will not see on the Discovery Channel, the History Channel, in the science textbooks, or in any secular publication. If you happen to see or hear something about any one of these discoveries, you will find that they will be attempts at debunking or proving them to be fake, fraud, or forgery. However,
Yeah, and that's what I was just reading. I thought I found something in there, but it might have been on another website. Slack you for that.
careful examination of facts that surround these discoveries, the truth is undeniable. The highly technical ancient civilization of the Nazca Indians flourished on the southern coast of Peru from around 1 AD to 750 AD. This culture produced an array of beautiful crafts and technologies such as ceramics, textiles, and geoglyphs. It is still not understood exactly how the Nazca produced their incredible geoglyphs called the Nazca lines. They also produced thousands of carvings on burial stones. These stone carvings, which are known as the Ica stones, are an enigma. There have been over 16.
Now, when you go look up the Ica stones, they will. If you go like look it on Wikipedia, go look it up in various certain people, even on YouTube, they're gonna say that these stones are all forgeries and that these are all lies, right? But unlike Esau, right, which is the forger's lies, and actually let's bring that out. Let's bring that scripture out. All right, watch this. Watch this. Let's go here. Forges of lies. I think that's in what, Job 14. Watch this. All right, because he's forging lies to say that these are forgeries and lies. So watch this. Job 13:4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies. You are all physicians of no value." Now, all these detractors that you have out here, these detractors of the scriptures and these creatures existing, and the evidence of these things, of these evidence, the physical evidence of these creatures existing, all right, are literal forges of lies to propagate what you call false witness of these being forges and lies. So watch this, and I actually got a tab open to prove the point right here.
1,000 of these remarkable stones found over the past 50 years. They contain images of daily life, battle scenes, agriculture practices, medical procedures, advanced technologies, and most amazingly, dinosaurs.
You see that?
Many skeptics have tried to debunk the
So look, this is our brothers over here in Peru, right?
Ica stone.
Look at that. You can see, you saw in this little feature right here. Let's slide. I mean, go back too far, right? Slide.
stones found over the past 50 years.
You saw
They contain
the
images of
descriptions,
daily
right?
life,
Look,
battle scenes,
so our brothers right here.
agriculture practices, medical procedures, advanced technologies, and most amazingly, dinosaurs.
See that? See the Triceratops? So I mean, these look. I'm sorry, man. Like just off of visual observation, right? You could tell that these are not forgeries. You could tell that these stones, right? You can tell that these stones are for real because the level of detail that's being done right here shows that these couldn't be forgeries. There's no way. All right, so let's keep playing.
Many skeptics have tried to debunk the Ica stones.
When I got obviously one of our brothers was able to domesticate this creature right here, man. Sauropod, Brachiosaurus, whichever version.
By saying that they are a modern day creation, but the evidence indicates different.
Get our people.
In 1535, Spanish conquistadors came through Peru in the area where the Nazca Indians had lived. They reported finding stones with strange animals carved on them. The designs and patterns on the stones also indicate that they were authentic from the Nazca culture, and of the 16,000, only about 500 had carvings of dinosaurs on them. Consequently, many of the carvings have nothing to do with the dinosaurs whatever. They were simply observations from everyday life of the Nazca culture. In Acambaro, Mexico.
So, with that being said, he said the Spanish conquistadors came down there and found these stones with these strange creatures on them, right? So, let's go ahead and go to this. Is this it? Yeah. And this book is called Chronicles. Let's see. Chronicles of Dinosauria: The History and Mystery of Dinosaurs and Man. So watch this. Look. Oh, slide. Look at this. Chapter 5, right? I might buy this book just for curiosity. All right. Page 3 is not part of. Okay, watch this. Right. So this book right here. Okay, along with the numerous historical accounts of dragons that have come down to us from antiquity, there are many ancient artistic works depicting the great reptiles as men knew them. There is only space to discuss a small percentage of these artifacts in this scrapbook. In almost all of these cases, the ancient artist is unknown, yet the similarities between the iconography and known kinds of dinosaurs is striking evidence that these artists saw or heard reliable reports of the great reptiles in their day. So artwork from South America. In the 1500s, the Spanish conquistadors brought back stories that there were Inca in like we were reading, like we were watching in the video, that they were Inca ceremonial stones with strange creatures carved on them found in Peru. Some of the stones were later carried to Spain, and their existence was recorded by the Incan chronicler Pachacuti Yamqui in 1571. A direct descendant of a conquistador, Dr. Javier Cabrera, saw these stones as a child and began collecting them in the 1960s. Today, over 11,000 such Inca stones have been found, some depicting dinosaurs. Upon retiring from the University of Lima, Cabrera worked to validate these finds within the scientific community. His credibility was strengthened by the discovery of pottery now in Lima Museum and tapestry found in the tombs dated from 200 to 700 AD that display similar creatures. Indeed, the depictions on some of the Inca stones show sauropod dinosaurs with a crest of spines, which, much like the much like the discovered on fossil skin impressions by paleontologist Stephen Cheserkis. All right. Moreover, the skin of many of the carved dinosaurs has round, bump-like depictions. Some scientists had pointed to this evidence that these stones were not scientifically accurate. However, discoveries of fossilized dinosaur skin in certain sauropod dinosaur embryos found in South America displayed round, non-overlapping tubercle-like scales in a Rosetta pattern that was that has silenced these critics. Look at that. You see that? Actually, you know what? Let's bring out a scripture, because all this does is just prove the Bible to be true. Now, the earth help the woman. You know. Let's see. Actually, let me see if I can find that scripture, because that's Revelation 12 and 16, but there's one in Psalms, I believe. Let's see. Okay, Psalms 85 and 11. So, and it says, truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. So guess what? The truth is springing up out the earth, man, just to prove this Bible to be true, man. Ain't that something? Something beautiful, ain't it? And let's see, where did that tab go? So let's keep reading down in this book if I can find more. Yeah, I mean, look at this. The petroglyph to the right was created by North American Anasi Indians that lived in the area that has now become Utah from approximately 150 BC to 150 BC to AD 1200. Even noted anti-creationists agree that it resembles a dinosaur, and that the brownish film that has hardened over the picture, along with the pitting and weathering, attests to its age. Clearly, a native warrior and a apatosaur-like creature are depicted. That's talking about this creature right here, basically. All right. So Henry Rowe, Schoolcraft geologist and Indian agent who wrote extensively about the Sioux Indians, he heard stories about a monstrous creature called Yunhutuki, something like an ox, but much larger with great horns. Schoolcraft reproduced drawings of several types of Unkentuhi monsters around 1850. These were based upon rock art showing a war party of 5 canoes crossing Lake Superior that encountered animals resembling giant turtles, snakes, and moose. But some middle right, speaking of these creatures, clearly look like dinosaurian. Sioux Indians farther west, when interviewed by ethnologists, described Unkentuhi as an immense reptile or serpent with legs. Its shape was like a giant scaly snake with feet, with a notched backbone or crest, a heavy spiked tail. Still, other Indian reports describe Antigua as a swamp-dwelling creature, an ankylosaur. All right, basically. The pictures of the description bring to mind the dinosaur ankylosaur. Yeah, that's what this creature is. All right. So yeah, man. I mean, let's just be 100, man. These creatures were existing not too long ago, and they still exist to this very day, man. Exactly what an ankylosaur looked like, man. A giant armadillo with a big ass rock for a tail. If you guys watch that Godzilla movie, watch the Godzilla movies, Anguirus. That's the creature that creature goes back to, the ankylosaur, right? But yeah, let's go ahead and continue.
Since the 1960s, over 56,000 ancient clay figurines have been discovered. Many of these clay artifacts are sculptures of dinosaurs. The approximate age of these clay figures is around 4,500 years old. Many people have studied these figures, and the opinion of their authenticity is divided.
Look at this.
Most who have no preconceived biases believe that they are genuine, but others who believe that the dinosaurs died off millions of years ago
So this is Issachar and Zebulon's depiction of these creatures, man, down there in Central America.
state that they remain skeptical in spite of the radiocarbon dating and investigative evidence that points to their authenticity. 16th century Aztecs produced this dragon sculpture. The face resembles a dinosaur like the Tyrannosaurus rex. Several other South American and Central American civilizations have produced similar sculptures. These side-by-side comparisons are very revealing.
Look like a damn T-Rex to me, man. I don't know. Unless that's a giant anaconda, you know.
These Central Andes artifacts bear a striking resemblance to dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex and Ceratosaurus. And these Mexican figurines, created sometime between 300 BC to 300 AD, could be replicas of the dinosaur Ankylosaurus.
I just brought that out. I didn't even know he was going into that part right here.
China, an ancient land shrouded in dragon lore and mystery. The Chinese calendar, or zodiac, which was developed as early as 1000 BC, has on it 12 animals, 11 of which are alive today. But the 12th, the dragon, merely a legend? Or is it based on a real animal, the dinosaur? It doesn't seem logical that the ancient Chinese, when constructing their zodiac, would include one mythical animal with 11 common animals. A more rational explanation would be that the dragon, which is mentioned so often in ancient Chinese history, is now extinct or very rare. Here are a few examples of Chinese dragons that look extraordinarily like dinosaurs. Could this be some type of sauropod, like the Brachiosaurus? This Chinese pottery artifact looks very similar to the hadrosaur. And this 3rd century BC ornamental box appears to have sauropod dinosaurs built onto it as handles. This 2,500-year-old Chinese dragon closely resembles a creature like a Diplodocus. Central Asia, with its dense rainforests and jungles, is home to many stories about strange dinosaur-like monsters, and the artifacts that have been found are quite revealing. The similarities that these monsters and dragons have with dinosaurs is undeniable, and coupled with the modern and ancient stories of monsters that continue to be seen in the jungles, leads many to believe that one day one of these rare creatures could be captured or killed. This 12th century Cambodian temple, constructed in 1186 AD, is home to a very interesting dinosaur artifact. The temple is covered with ornate designs and stone carvings on its exterior. This carving of a Stegosaurus-like dinosaur was found on the temple wall.
Wow. Yeah.
As late as the 1800s, the Dayak culture of Borneo was producing artwork with dinosaurs on them. This water fountain on a Hindu temple built in the 1800s looks very similar to the Triceratops. There have been several other findings like this throughout Asia, including these two 10th century AD bronze sculptures from Nepal.
So basically, you're seeing different variations of these creatures, man, whether they be called dragon or whether they be called dinosaur, man. All right.
Which bear a close resemblance to several types of ceratopsid dinosaurs. European history is filled with dragon artwork, sculptures, and artifacts. These not only include the popular look of dragons seen in much of the artwork, but also include many other fascinating creatures that look very similar to dinosaurs. The Palestrina mosaic from around 100 AD has several animals depicted that appear to be extinct and prehistoric. Why would the Roman culture place prehistoric extinct creatures within their historical documents and artwork? The obvious answer is that they existed together and they recorded what they observed. Here we see a dinohyus, which means terrible pig. The dinohyus was supposed to have died off about 24 million years ago, and here we see several men fighting what appears to be a type of quadruped dinosaur. Found at Carlisle Cathedral on the tomb of Bishop Richard Bell, who died in 1496, are these two brass engravings.
Yes.
In a 2nd century Roman inscription. The Thracians were a group of Indo-European tribes who spoke the Thracian language and thrived from 3200 BC to 500 BC.
You see the overwhelming evidence of these creatures, right? In different time periods. Let's see. Is there more on that particular? Let's see. So, I mean, look, artwork from Asia. All right. Pretty much the same thing he was going into. All right. Let's see. Look at this. Look at all this, man. Look like a Templar right there. Damn crest. Or might not be. But yeah, man, like, look. I mean, and these is and they keep seeing the same exact. You see the same exact. What would you call? You keep seeing the same exact descriptions, man. You keep seeing the same exact descriptions from whether it be Europe, Africa, Asia. It doesn't even matter where from. Okay. Actually, let me see. Let's see. There was one thing I wanted to go into. Have God have me. Okay, with this one right here, living dinosaurs.
Let's take a look at the present day and examine evidence for dinosaurs that could still be alive today. If there are dinosaurs that are still alive, and they have always existed with man, this means that modern scientists have made some serious errors regarding their interpretation of geologic and paleologic data. It also spoils the strongly held belief that the dinosaurs were wiped out 65 million years ago when a comet hit the Earth. So what really happened to the dinosaurs? This narrator and many millions of other learned people, young and old alike, believe the biblical story of the Great Flood tells their fate. The Bible says that Noah took 2 of every kind of animal onto the ark. If that is true, then Noah would have included young dinosaurs, which were much smaller than their older adult counterparts.
And you know what? Let's go ahead and go to that scripture. I believe that's what Genesis, the 6th chapter, 7th chapter. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go to that, because really what it was 2 of every creature. It was 2 of every unclean and 7 clean, I believe. Or let me not butcher the scripture. Let's go ahead and go to that Genesis 7, I believe. So yeah, Genesis 7:1. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7s, the male and his female, and beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female. All right. So really, it was so these creatures, they're unclean. We don't eat lizards. All right. They were being taken by two by 2.
The environment before the flood was very different, and this allowed both men and animals to live extremely long lives. All reptiles grow from the time they are born to the time they die, so a reptile that was 600 to 900 years old would have been an extremely large animal, a dinosaur. The younger dinosaurs would have been much smaller. It would have been logical for Noah to take younger animals for several reasons. They eat less, sleep more, produce less waste, and have a longer reproductive lifespan.
That's a
All
good
life
theory.
on Earth, except for those on the Ark, perished and was buried in the sedimentary rock layers that were laid down by this worldwide catastrophic flood. The vast fossil record that we see so consistently throughout the entire world today is proof of this worldwide flood, and interestingly, there are over 500 flood legends and stories from around the world. After the flood, Noah's family and the surviving animals began to repopulate the earth. Over time, the dinosaurs, like many other creatures, were hunted to near extinction. Many also died because of the Ice Age and extreme climate change that occurred after the flood. There would have been multiple reasons why the surviving dinosaurs would have been killed off
All
by
right.
man.
So yeah, no,
There,
they and you got to understand too. These creatures, some of them went on the flood, and you also got to understand that there are variations of these creatures because it's not evolution, it's adaptation that these creatures go through. All right. And that's why you have variations of different creatures, like I covered earlier in this video. All right. So let's see. Let's go right here.
in English-speaking countries are the Loch Ness Monster, the Lake Ogopogo Monster, and the Lake Champlain Monster.
Yep. Ogopogo, Loch Ness. Yep.
The Lake Champlain Monster, or Champ,
Basically, these are sightings of the plesiosaur, basically. All right.
as many call this creature, is regularly seen in the waters of Lake Champlain in upstate New York. It is likely that this is not just one creature that is being sighted, but multiple creatures of the same species that live in the waters of the lake. Lake Champlain is an extremely large glacial lake that is up to 400 feet deep in places. Thousands of people, dating all the way back to the Abenaki Indians, claim to have seen this creature. The first recorded sighting took place when Samuel de Champlain came upon the lake in July 1609. During this expedition, the French explorer noted in his journal these words: "A 20-foot serpent with a horse-shaped head and a body as thick as a keg." The most famous of the Champ encounters was in 1977 by a woman named Sandy Mancy and her family. She took this photo and watched the creature for more than 10 minutes. In an interview, she stated, "I know that what I saw was a dinosaur." A man named James Miller from Norfolk, New York, was a sergeant in the U.S. Air Force stationed at Plattsburgh Air Force Base in the summer of 1983. He and 3 friends were in a canoe on Lake Champlain when they saw Champ. They said, "It looked like a huge serpent moving up and down, not side to side like a fish. It was more than 30 feet long." They watched.
Yeah, and you got a multitude of these encounters, right? Because remember how we do things, right? Uh, what is it? More than one witness, then shall a matter be established. Well, that's what's being established right here, and there's been multiple eyewitnesses of these creatures in these particular lakes, right? Let's see. I'm trying to go to one because this goes on the Loch Ness monster, but I do want to go to the Mbike. All right.
And is seen in the very early morning and at dusk. Found in the deep jungles of the African Congo, is the largest swamp in the world. The Likawala Swamp is 55,000 square miles in size. This should give you an idea of just how big the swamp is. The swamp is 80% unexplored.
Yep.
Very few civilized people venture into this swamp because of the harsh conditions. But tribespeople living around the swamp say that there are several creatures that live there that are apparently living dinosaurs. When they are shown pictures of different dinosaurs,
Yep.
they identify without hesitation the hepatosaur and the triceratops as creatures that they have observed in the swamp.
Yep.
The hepatosaur that was identified by the natives has the name Mokele Mbembe. The tribesmen say that the creature lives mostly in the shallows of the swamp and is seen in the very early morning and at dusk. Mokele Mbembe is described as being mostly nocturnal and very territorial. Natives do not like to have encounters with this vicious creature. However, they say say that they have killed and eaten the Mokele Mbembe before. Cryptozoologists.
Yep. And I actually want to see, because I saw that on National Geographic, if I'm not mistaken, with that particular dinosaur or that particular creature. So they went down there and made an expedition in like he was saying that they showed pictures, and they were showing pictures with elephant. Oh, was this what you saw? There's like, no, we see that all the time. It was giraffe. But when they showed the sauropod and the plesiosaurus, they immediately identified that creature. All right, let's see, where's video? Okay, this creature right here. Get this garbage out of here. So look. Oh no, this isn't embedded.
I think one of the more interesting and more important parts
that's
of this
that's not the one.
creature is here.
It's not the video. Is this one right here?
Mokele Mbembe, also dubbed as Titanus Mokele Mbembe, is a giant daikaiju created by legendary pictures to appear in Monsterverse. Mokele Mbembe.
That's not the one. Slack. Trying to find. It was a small clip. Damn it. Should have kept that. I should have kept that little clip. But basically, what that clip was it was off of National Geographic. Okay. Should have kept that clip I had in the tab, but yeah, they basically identifying that same creature. Okay, so Slovakia.
Zoologist Roy Mackal has explored portions of the African swamp and has written a book called A Living Dinosaur. The book details the regular encounters that tribal people have with the Mokele Mbembe and the search for evidence of its existence. This creature has been seen by many people, including African natives, explorers from the U.S., an African biologist, and government officials from the Republic of Congo. Unfortunately, because of the harsh environment and the dense swamp, no high-quality pictures have yet been taken of the creature. Around the same region of the Congo, the people tell of a creature they call Ngobu. When the natives are shown pictures of dinosaurs, they identify the creature as being very similar to the Triceratops and the Styracosaurus. It is described as having 6 horns and is known for killing elephants with them. Across the globe in South America, a dinosaur similar to Mokele Mbembe has been seen. For over 200 years, there have been reports of people seeing large reptile creatures that look like the extinct dinosaurs of the textbooks. In 1907, Colonel Percy Fawcett of the...
Actually, let me pull that back because I want to show you something in the scriptures, right? I want to show you something in Genesis, the 40th chapter, not Genesis, Job, the 40th chapter. All right. If I'm not let me see. Let's see if actually, let me skip up. Okay, because he goes into different eyewitness accounts of certain creatures. All right, like the Thunderbird, right? The Thunderbird, which the natives would call, all right, this large winged reptile, which we would know as a pteranodon or a what you would call a pterodactyl, but it's called a pteranodon. All right, of them flapping their wings and creating shock waves, right? All right, which is the reason why they call them a thunderbird, because their ability to create shock waves through their through their flapping of their wings when they fly. All right, so let me skip up because I want to go to the biblical aspect of this. So let's watch this. Biblical aspect of this video. If I'm not mistaken, what's that? Let's go here. Let's go to this, because when you deal with, I'm trying to think which book it is. Bell and the Dragon. Bell and the Dragon. If you go look at the Babylonian wall, right? In that same creature that was made a graven image of, this is the same creature. All right, let's see. Where's the Babylonian wall? Trying to see if this is it. Okay, I think that's a good depiction. This one right here. Okay. This right here. So if you go look at Bel and the Dragon in that particular idol that they were worshiping, this is the animal that is based off of. And when you look at this animal looks very, very similar to one of those creatures that we were seeing earlier, like the sauropod, a variation of that animal. All right. And the reason why I'm talking about the sauropod, right? Going back here, and if I'm not mistaken, I know he talks about this in he talks about this, already covered Genesis 1. I want to go to Job 40, the 40th chapter. All right. Of course, he goes into certain scriptures dealing with dragons as well. All right. Like I did before. I mean, I can go to other sources. The fiery serpent is dealing with Yahweh Shai. All right. And I'll explain that in a different breakdown. Let's deal with that. Let's see. Does he go into? Let's see. Okay. So he goes into Leviathan, but let's go into this. Let's go ahead and go to this right here about the plesiosaur or the sauropod. All right. We're going to show you that that's actually in the scriptures. All right. Now this creature, the Brachiosaurus. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go to this. All right. The Brachiosaurus. I want to show the images of these creatures, or this creature right here, as I read this verse, or Slack, as I read this chapter. All right. So let's go ahead, skip down. So right here, Job, the 40th chapter, in the 15th verse, it says, "Behold, now behemoth, all right, and I made thee. He eateth grass as an ox." Now, even they show you that in the Jurassic Park, and even in some other particular dinosaur movies, right? They show the sauropod and the Brachiosaurus, all right, eating grass, right? Because that's what that was their diet. Their diet was they were herbivores, okay? So let's continue on. Lo, now his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. Now, this is a good depiction to use. All right. So the navel is talking about his belly, talking about, his stomach, basically, right? I wish they had these pictures right. But yeah, you see this right here. You see the navel, you see his belly right here, right? And of course, you see his strong legs and whatnot, right? Lo, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. All right. So the flesh of his stones are wrapped together, speaking of his body. Now, this animal, the Brachiosaurus, the sauropod, let's see, where's that joker at? You see that? You see the navel of his bone, the strength in the navel of his belly, right? And it also says, behold, it says, he moved his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. So the sinews of his stone is wrapped together, right? The flesh, that hardened flesh, right? They're wrapped together. Now look, this is literally talking about this creature right here. So also, actually, Slakia, there's also the part where it talks about his tail being as cedar long. Now, what animal? Okay, what land animal that you know on this planet? Let's click out of some of these tabs. All right. What animal do you know has a cedar long tree? Let's see. Let's just type that up. Cedar long tree. A cedar long tail as long as a cedar tree. You know, because some people will sit up here and say that this animal that it's talking about is speaking on an elephant. So watch this, right? So look, so the largest land animal is what, an elephant. But these large animals that you know that you see walking around, they cannot be talking about. It can't be talking about no elephant. It can't be talking about um uh what you would call, or a hippopotamus even, or even these like the large land animals that we know, the rhinoceros. They don't have cedar tails as long as a cedar tree. Let me read that again. Job 40:17. He moved his tail like a cedar. Right? The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. You can't find no animal on this earth that we see on a regular basis that has that kind of tail, right? Salakia, where's too many damn tabs? And this is a perfect picture to show that doesn't make no damn sense. And a lot of these creationists, these evolutionists, and these Darwinists, right? They use that to discredit these creatures actually existing, right? This doesn't make sense. This would make more sense right here. You see, it's which tail looks like a tree to you? The elephant's tail or the brachiosaurus, the sauropod's tail? This looked like a tree to me, as long as a cedar tree. See that? So let's see. According to Norse mythology, dragon dwelling places are beyond ice caps in Arctic and Antarctica. That's why the UN got military troops in those areas to keep people from exploring the outskirts of the earth. Yeah, I'm pretty yeah, that I'm 100% sure that's true, man, because you know, all these things, if Esau, look, if these things were to be revealed, man, Esau would be like, people would be trying to take Esau down for all his lies and his damn school systems, man, especially in the Western Hemisphere. But yeah, so yeah, Job 40:18. His bones are as strong as pieces of brass. His bones are like barbs of iron. All right. So let's see. So look. So let's look at the sauropod again. And actually, let's look at the sauropod skeleton. So why the earth is helping the woman, man. Woman being us. Now you tell me if this skeletal structure, right? You tell me that this ain't what the scriptures is talking about. Looking like barbs of iron. Look at that. You telling me that ain't barbs of iron right here? Come on, man. His bones are as strong as piece of brass. His bones are like barbs of iron. And for you to be that big, your bones would have to be very powerful and strong like iron to hold up a massive frame like that, man. And that's just being real. All right. So Job 40:19. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring forth food, where all the beasts of the field. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Pretty much. All right. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. All right. So there was another scripture in here, but I think that might have been, I think, yeah, that's pretty much it on that. But yeah, that behemoth that it was speaking on in that scripture was speaking on the brachiosaurus, the sauropod. All right. So let's go ahead and go to this, right? Like I said, in this particular section, he talks about the different dragons, and some of these are metaphorical, some of these is talking about actual creatures, and I brought out a couple of scriptures. All right, hell, I even bring out another scripture just real quick. In the Apocrypha, actually. Let's go to the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha, King James, KJV, 1611 Bible. Actually, King James. Slide. Better be dwell a dragon or lion. KJV. I'm gonna bring that scripture up. Okay, Sirach 25:16. Right. Let's go right here. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than keep house with a wicked woman. So this is a scripture right here in the Apocrypha. We know what a lion is, but what is a dragon? Could it be talking about these creatures right here? You see? I mean, so there's many scriptures dealing with dragons, all right, dealing with these dinosaur-like creatures, these big-ass lizards, basically. So let's deal with this.
There was no water. Leviathan, which is mentioned 4 times in the Bible, seems to be a very large and fierce creature, which was probably water-dwelling. Job 41 says this about Leviathan.
So Leviathan himself, right? And we know what Leviathan is, man. For you brothers and sisters that have been in the truth, that have watched my breakdowns long enough, right? Where is that? You know, I just want to skim through that because I already have a breakdown for that particular. Already have a breakdown for that. All right. Actually, where's those videos at? Playlist. True. That have watched. Oops, lock. All right. Slide. Let me go to my playlist. View full playlist. Let's go right here. If you want to know the true breakdown of Leviathan, right? Just go look at my breakdowns. Godzilla is Leviathan in the Bible. All right. And Godzilla, even the character itself, it was mentioned to be a mutated dinosaur, mutated by the H-bomb and other forms of modern nuclear weapons and whatnot, but basically being a dinosaur. And that's pretty much the breakdown of Leviathan. All right. Leviathan is basically a giant dinosaur-like creature with spikes on his back. All right. Let's see, let's just type in Godzilla. I already broke this down before, you know. So basically, I'd rather use the Hayside version. The 80s and 90s version of Godzilla. This is my favorite version. Probably the most tragic one. Yeah, this is let's see, is this the best depiction? I'm trying to see. Best. best thing I can utilize show you the whole body of this creature. Yeah, this Joker right here, man. This is what Leviathan is basically. I mean, armor plated, indestructible skills, spikes on his back. That's in the scriptures. All right, it speaks about the spikes on his back. Breathes fire. All right, and got red eyes. All right, light eyes as the morning. All right, and he walks bipedal, and he walks bipedal, and he's amphibious. He can live on land and water. Okay, so it's pretty much Leviathan in its entirety. That's part of this dinosaur documentary. All right. Okay. So pretty much, I mean, I could go on and on, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, Slakia. I mean, look, these creatures exist, man. All right, where's the dinosaur? Okay. These animals exist according to the scriptures, according to archaeology, according to paleontology, according to all manners of research has been done to verify these creatures. And most importantly, this holy Bible that we read every day. All right. Like I said, the Bible is undefeated, man. The Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the Most High and the Son are undefeated. And this word is undefeated. And guess what? The proven existence of these creatures, the truth of these creatures existing, proves the Bible to be valid and to be valid, and it validates the scriptures to a T, to 100%, man. All right. So you know what, brothers and sisters, I hope you all was edified. You know what I'm saying? I did the best I can. You know what I'm saying? I could. I should say Salakia. I'm gonna say call Allah, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. Much love to the priests, prophets, and elders in this truth, and sincere brothers and sisters in this truth. This is right up from God. I encourage y'all brothers to do your own research and your own studies, and to broaden your mind and have an open mind of understanding the scriptures, because these scriptures is vast and we cover various topics dealing with the true men of the Lord, man. So with that said, I want to say much love and shalom.